Alright, we are here in Oklahoma City at the Wagon Wheel Mercantile flea market. So this is our first time at this particular flea market. We didn't know going into it just how far back the building went and just how big the place was. So this video is actually separated out into two because we were there for over an hour. I noticed these little blind bag toys. I considered getting a few for my ASMR channel, JL ASMR. I considered getting a few of those for some unboxings, but didn't end up getting those. We took a look at some of the games that were up front here, some vintage Game Boy games, and Atari. And I also was drawn to this little Mario carrying case. We were all still at the beginning of the area. We noticed these little grandma and grandpa porcelain figures. We later realized that they're actually piggy banks. One of them says retirement fund, and they have a little slot in the back of the chairs for them. I like these. I liked this this stone egg. I considered getting it for myself, my personal collection, but I ended up not getting it since it was $20. They had this huge set of this beautiful pottery, and we took a look at that. They were really pretty, but the price just was not right for a resale for any of them. I liked the little things in this glass case here. And then we noticed that there was some Frankoma pottery, which we're really familiar with. It comes from Oklahoma. And I was just pointing out those pieces to my mom. And then in the case to the left that I'm about to look at, they've got a lot of little items. And the case spins around. You know, it's a little turnstile, so you can look at everything in there. You notice that little Ninja Turtle toy there. And that little metal dog I thought was really cute. And that piece reminded me of a piece I'd gotten from one of my aunts during her trip to Saudi Arabia in the past. There was a lot of cool things in here, but we ended up not seeing anything that we would care to pull out to resell. They had a lot of jewelry in this section here. Notice a lot of bangles, which I personally like, but didn't see any that we would want to buy today. And over here, there was a lot of like kitchenware. We noticed this Texas ware bowl here. We liked the speckling a lot in it. It was really pretty, and they had a few different ones, different sizes. Like we noticed there was two there. And I was looking at this horn. I believe that's a powder horn where they would put like gunpowder in it for storage. I noticed there was a third Texas ware bowl, so I put it with the others. I looked up here. At first I had thought this was Frankoma, but then we noticed that it was not Frankoma. It was labeled as Tomco, but when we looked at the bottom, it's actually Tomac or Tomac. But it was a huge set of it all, a whole matching set of it. and that's just a little bit too much for us to take on. They had a lot of boots at this place, lots of glasswares, just a lot of everything, honestly. We kept going. I noticed there are some bags of vintage, like toy soldiers here. That's not really what we sell a lot unless it's like really vintage or like really cool. We looked through the purses a little bit, but didn't see anything that caught our eye. And so we kept moving on. Since this place was so big, we didn't want to spend too long in any one place. And as I was looking at the boots, I noticed those little glass swans back there. We had actually had one that we found at a garage sale that we had sold before on our site already. I was drawn to that silver looking box there. I don't think it was actual silver or silver plate, but it was really pretty. Just lots of knickknacks in this area. I think that may have been like a coin bank, I'm not sure. I did think that was very pretty. I did consider it for a little bit there, but we already have a lot of things like that in our store, so I put it back. And I found this. I wasn't sure what it was at first, but when I picked it up, I noticed it said darning egg, and I didn't know what that was at first, so I asked my mom, and apparently it's used for like sewing or for like crocheting, knitting. You would use that to form the form of the sock, and you would use that to sew around it. You could use it to fix stockings, pantyhose, like I said, making socks, booties, things like that. It's just to hold the form. Lots of cute things to look through. When I got to this section, I found this basket full of little vintage dolls, lots of different types. This one here is a little cloth doll. And they had a few of those. Little cloth doll. And I got excited when I saw these. They're little bisque Japanese penny dolls, also known as frozen Charlotte dolls. That one's another cloth. But those little porcelain penny dolls, I've gotten some in the past before, and they are kind of rare to find ones that are in really good condition like that. So I was pulling all the ones that I could find out and looking through them all, setting them to the side to look at their worth later, see if I could get anything from them. So what they would do with frozen Charlotte dolls, in Germany at least, is they would take these little porcelain dolls like that, and they would put them in like some sort of food and bake it with the food. And then once you're eating the food, whoever finds it in their food wins. I'm not sure they actually did those with the Japanese versions, but the Japanese ones are really cute and colorful, and I found a couple that looked similar. Found that dog one. That one is a vintage bear. That one had a little head that was movable. And I was just looking for ones that were one single piece, no chips, no breaks. Porcelain, that one right there was plastic. And then just like interesting looks to them. And those were the ones I was picking up. And that one there, I never could tell exactly what it was. I couldn't tell if it was a dog or a monkey. You let me know what you think in the comments. That one said, I believe, Brandon on the bottom. So those are the ones I set to the side to look up later. And my mom went to go get a cart since we didn't expect to have so many items so quickly. So I kept looking while she was grabbing the cart. Notice this cool yoga figurine at the top there. It was made of really like good quality wood, and it looked really shiny and pretty. I liked it. And it's just an interesting shape. And this cool mug here I was looking at. He's got a really detailed face. And then this paperweight, we found several paperweights in this store while we were looking around. I actually regret a lot not getting this one. It was so pretty, and the price was pretty good on it. I might have kept it for myself, though. This set was made in the USA, but we don't typically get sets of dishes like that just because they're a lot to handle, a lot to ship as well. This box is made of silver and wood. I found it interesting, but didn't end up getting it. I didn't know why it was like two separate pieces like that. And this was a sun and stars design. We've seen that in the past before, but it's really nice. This was a Native American pottery. Looks like a design of Cocopelli on the inside and a rabbit on the outside. And I saw this vintage, looks like a shaving set, where they used to brush on stuff before they would shave, and then the little mug that it came in. In this cabinet here, they had a lot of vintage toys. I noticed the Tammy doll in the corner, vintage Tammy doll. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think, did Tammy come out before Barbie? Maybe like right after, but I think it's like right before. She's like the original Barbie. And they had just a lot of cool vintage toys in this cabinet here. They had more jewelry over in this section and some vintage coins. And this doll was labeled antique creepy doll. Which a lot of people say that about any porcelain doll. I liked that little mini tea set. I used to have a collection of mini tea sets when I was a kid. And I was also looking at these crystals. I've been gathering up some cool looking crystals for my ASMR channel, for the backdrop of that channel. I would have them on the bookshelf behind me. So I was looking at those. They've got some vintage cars back here too. I don't know much about toy cars, or cars in general, actually. noticed this, it's like a little gemstone bonsai tree instead of like a real living bonsai tree. It was really pretty. I don't know what I would do with it. Some Japanese styled things. And I liked the colors on that. These were the glass swans I was talking about earlier. We had a blue one that was really similar to that one on the right that we had sold in the past. They're really pretty. Didn't really see anything of interest over here. And I saw those little pots there. They're really pretty, but they weren't marked on the bottom or anywhere. But I did like the look of them. Just didn't know what they were. Some more vintage toys. I don't know much about cars, like I said earlier, but I do like the old metal ones. My Uncle Neil actually knows a lot more about cars and toy cars than I do. I've got to ask him if any of these are worth anything. Over here I noticed these. They're really pretty and delicate looking. They were only $6 each as well, which is a pretty good price. Mako occupied Japan. They're really pretty, but we have similar pieces, so I didn't end up grabbing those. I did like a lot of the stuff on this section. That candle still actually had the wax in it. It was really pretty. And a bitters jar. I thought that was funny. I noticed that giant game of dominoes down there at the bottom. Looks like it would actually be really fun to play with if you have like a big open space. And a box full of random Disney toys. I think some of those are ones that like attached to video games. I forget what the game is called. A giant lion's paw made out of wood. Don't know what that is for, but it was pretty. Pioneer woman. I thought that was really pretty, but that price is, yeah, about right for what you would sell it for. I noticed those fingerlings there. They were actually a really popular Christmas gift a couple years back, but these ones looked like they were kind of in rough condition, so I put them back. Saw that dream catcher back there. It wasn't super detailed. It did have a Coco Pelli on it again, and it had animal bones, but it wasn't super detailed like the strings. There wasn't any strings there like a normal dream catcher. Oh, that still works. Take that for a minute. There was another flute. There was one at the front of the store as well that we had seen. I've been drawn to these vintage brushes for a while lately. I don't know why, but I've been wanting to find like one of those old silver like hairbrush and mirror kits. This kind of makes me think of those. I saw that cute little ladybug and thought it would look really good in somebody's garden. So I decided to take that with me and see what my mom thought about it and see if she thought that we should take it and add it to our store. Prince Albert in a can. They even had some little shed antlers, it looks like. But I actually have one of those at home already that's bigger, so I didn't grab that one. A mini brick from Stillwater, Oklahoma. I don't know why they had a mini brick, but there it was. And these ducks, I know I've heard somewhere from like other thrifters on YouTube that these can be worth a lot, but I don't know like how to tell that, or I don't know which buyer you'd be aiming for either for that. I saw this bag here of My Little Pony toys. I know some of those can also be worth a lot, but again, I don't know much about them, so I wouldn't be able to tell which ones are worth a lot or not. They had a whole set of corn dishware here. Another little turnstile. And then this section of really nice glassware, actually. All these were priced too high for me to buy for resale, but they were really gorgeous, actually. I thought that this, that swan there might be a Boyd, because it looks similar to one that I have at home, but I didn't find the marking that would say one way or the other, so I put it back. And Pokemon's always popular, so I had to look at the Pikachu. I turned around and noticed all of these Longaberger baskets, just a whole bunch of them. I need to go find my mom and let her know about these. Ooh, but I'm gonna get distracted first. It's hard for me to tell what Beanie Babies are worth anything, but I was drawn to this guy. I'd never seen this specific Beanie Baby before in person, and he was in really good condition, really cute, really clean, so I ended up grabbing him. Then I've always got to look at the porcelain dolls. Those couple were really pretty, but they didn't draw me in. In that basket there were those porcelain dolls with the scrunched up faces. Look like crying babies. I've got one on the eBay store right now, actually, and these looked like they were the same brand. I couldn't tell exactly if they were or not, but they looked similar. I didn't need any more though, so I left those. Wooden clogs. Nothing worth grabbing just yet. And I kept stopping at that lion's paw because it confused me. I couldn't figure out what it was used for or if it was just decorative or what. On this wall, I noticed some vintage Star Wars toys. There's an Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's a Han Solo. And I decided I'd probably come back to look at those later once I looked them up. And there's a lot of Star Wars stuff in this section. There's a lot of toys, but that whole section right there, right at the front, was Star Wars stuff. And then some more Beanie Babies here. These were like special edition ones, I believe, for like holidays and stuff. But they're not super worthwhile, not rare or anything. And I decided to take a look at all the toy sections, see if I recognized anything from my own childhood that might be worth something today. Like Polly Pockets are something that I try to look out for a lot. If you find a Polly Pocket that still has the little dolls on the inside and all the little pieces, they're worth a lot. And Bratz dolls, Princess dolls. American Girl, I noticed a lot of these. These were the thing to have back in the day, back when I was a kid. They were so expensive to get, and everybody wanted one, and I never had one. But I don't regret that. I had lots of other cool dolls and toys. Again, My Little Ponies, I don't know which ones are worth anything, so I try and stay away from that. Yellow M&M. Some more little Beanie Babies. Then over here, this little C-3PO action figure. Looks like he's the one from the Phantom Menace, but I could be wrong. And Rugrats, I remember watching that show. I saw another paperweight over here. This one just had a lot of bubbles in it. It was pretty, but not as pretty as the flower one that I saw at the beginning. And I don't know what that was. Still don't. But I saw that this section had a lot of glasswares again, so I wanted to take a look through it. I knew that they would probably all be priced a little bit too high for resale, but it's always good to look through, get your hands on it, see what you can find, and get to recognize, brand names by getting to look at all of them. Like this, I noticed that was a Francoma. And so is that little wheel over there too. You just start getting an eye for things once you look at them enough. And that little nesting egg set was cute. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I saw that Millennium Falcon. I thought for a second it was the Lego set, but it was just a puzzle. I got excited. Some silver, brass items. Then my mom came and told me that there was a specific antique section in the back, and so we were heading to finish up this section and go look at the antiques of the antique flea market. And I'm always drawn to Japanese items. I really like their culture. And I saw those little Kokeshi dolls there, and a couple more in just a moment. I will actually be splitting this video up into 2 parts for the Wagon Wheel Mercantile, since we were there so long. And this video is already getting to about half an hour. So I will split it in just a few moments. Thank you guys for watching. I always appreciate you. Please leave a like and a comment if you like this, what you see here. Give me any critiques in the comments. And I will have the second part of this video up in just a couple of days, hopefully. And again, thank you all for watching. I appreciate every one of you.